All right. Welcome to the impressions section of the evening. First set of impressions is over a game called Chickenauts. Chickenauts is a companion based action roguelike game where you battle evil alien chickens who've abducted your beloved flock. Free and mutate your chickens to defeat a myriad of foes, explore various spaceship environments, and unravel secrets of the chickens from outer space. Right, so this game was assigned to the Golux for the delivery of impression. Yes, that's right. So over to you, Golux. How was the chicken knots?
So this is Petty lost the footage there for a second, but he got it back. So yeah, this is a twin stick style roguelike action thingy. You start off with a shot and a dodge roll, and then fairly quickly you get one of a number of collectible chickens to act as a sub character. The one I got conveniently has a gun. A lot of the other ones fight by like laying eggs that allegedly go and run towards enemies, but I have not found them super helpful. Um, and you can control, like, send your chicken to a position on the map with the stick, with the no, by holding the fucking right bumper and moving the stick. I played with a controller. Uh, Many people, I did not even test it with mouse and keyboard, but a lot of people like mouse and keyboard for this kind of game. But I don't know what the keybinds are there. But yeah, it super slows down time and lets you choose where to send the chicken to, where then it does things. The chickens have a visible range around them usually, which affects some stuff that they do, depending on things. You get There is a rogue chicken mad scientist doctor who will upgrade your chicken with weird mutations, many of which are stuff like dropping a potion or a healing meat every number of rooms, or the chicken getting a gun or a better gun, or getting defensive barriers or something, but they're all chicken based. Also, on some rooms, you get power ups that apply to you, unlike the chickens. And then also, as you go through the runs, you will rescue farm workers that unlock things that unlock the ability to swap which chicken you're working with, the ability to change what kind of gun you bring into the dungeon, of which you start off with a pistol and I think a like pitchfork thing. I tried using it. It was not very good. It's very short range. Um, One that upgrades your stats overall, which I think you get automatically after your first run, and one that the ones that I got, the other ones, what did they do? Oh, one that like sets challenge parameters for your runs to make you get better rewards.
John
The
Chick.
pickups. Okay, you got the same one I got, and the chickens are all like pop culture references. The ones I got were John Wick chicken, Mary Poppins chicken, and that one fucking guy from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, what, Gojo?
Yeah, the Mary Poppins one spawns babies that like really regularly to go attack, and Gojo makes a vortex around him.
Hmm.
Um. So yeah, this one is this is the tutorial for you can make your chicken go stand somewhere. Um. But yeah, generally you go to a new room, you fight the enemies that spawn until they stop spawning. There are a few rooms that have other parameters, like you have to blow up the towers to stop enemies from spawning, or you have to survive for a certain amount of time, or something like that. And then every so often you'll fight a more dangerous enemy, which is usually mostly a one-off fight, but the enemy has like a fucking shield that goes off sometimes, and they do like bullet hell bullshit. So it's harder. They are different enemies than the random ones, which is worth mentioning because one of the kind of flaws I find in this game is that the enemy variety is not amazing. There's like maybe a dozen kinds of things, and it has not. Admittedly, I have not beaten the first boss yet, the first floor boss, but the number of enemies, even just on the first floor, is kind of low. And then, yeah, at the end, you have the option to restart, which is actually start a new run with the same parameters. It's not restart for a reason that I will get into in a second. Or go back to the farm to adjust things and talk to the guys you have. So, things you collect in the runs are eggs, which are the meta progression currency, which you use mostly to improve your own parameters, but there might be other things you can spend it on back here at the farm. Coins, which you use to purchase things during a run. Keys, which you use to unlock things during a run, which can be treasure doors, which you can usually see what's behind. Treasure chests, which come in different colors to vaguely tell you what the how valuable the contents is, but not much else. Those are the main things. Those are the main currencies. There's also breakable terrain and stuff that you can either shoot or just walk into that sometimes drops eggs, which is good because eggs are, like, I was doing pretty bad for most of it, but I still got enough eggs that I was able to get better. By increasing firing rate and movement rate mostly, and starting coins lets you buy more stuff. There's not usually much in the way of a forking path, except for sometimes you get the forking option of a room with a power-up or a room with a shop. The power-up is just one power-up uncomplicatedly, although sometimes there are hazards in that room. Not enemies, but like laser traps or something that you have to dodge roll through or something. And the shops always have a random potion for sale, a key for sale, and a healing meat for sale that heals one of your life meats. Because if you look in the top left of the screen, the hit points icon is a meat instead of a heart.
Mm-hmm.
Drumstick.
Yeah. And then they have like one random thing. And there's also a gacha machine in the shops, which you can play for 1 coin, and it has a chance of dropping a golden egg that is like a handful of coins, like 3 to, I think 10 is probably the max. It might be lower than that. It can drop a key. It can drop eggs for you. Or rarely it can drop like an actual power-up or something. I think it might be able to drop meat if you're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, there's usually not a whole lot of options whenever you're faced with a thing, so a lot of it feels like even the mutations thing only has 3 available, and there's a lot of them, so it feels like you're kind of just trying to go with the luck of the draw. The reason why restart is new run with this. Oh, and you found one of the weird things. If you go towards the center of the floor,
Mm-hmm.
you will see that giant golden fucking bird thing. There are 2 types of these that I've seen. This golden one that takes coins, and the like gunmetal one that takes keys. They don't do anything unless you have a lot, and I've never had enough to be able to tell what they do. But I'm sure they do something. And then I have gotten to the final boss of the first level, who's like a cyborg thing, with swords and guns.
Mm.
Yeah, you start off with 3 health, and the power-up that gives you more health is it's certainly not more common than any of the other ones. It might be rarer. But the mutation that makes your chicken drop a health up or a potion every 2 or 3 rooms is reasonably common, so... Yeah, the fork I don't get. It has a super short range. I guess it could couple well with using your chicken as a turret, because while you need to avoid or dodge roll through shots and lasers and stuff, your buddy chicken is invincible, as far as I can tell.
Mm.
So let me look at your thing and see if you're having the thing that I was having. Yeah, when I was playing, for some reason, there were like brackets to the left and right of my, or to the upper left, upper right and lower right, sorry, of my guy. I'm not sure what that was, but it was presumably just an error since Petty doesn't have it.
Well, and sometimes, like, because I'm on an ultra wide, it does make weird or sometimes not weird things happen with the screen. So I don't know.
Yeah, but no, I imagine these were not intended to be there. I was wondering if they were supposed to be pointing to an objective or something, but it might have just been a glitch. And they never changed, so if they were pointing towards an objective, they weren't working. But yeah, your goal is to just... The rooms are supposed to not take too long, and the floors are not a whole ton of rooms, compared to something like, Binding of Isaac, which has a kind of similar gameplay loop, although this one is strictly linear. You can't go back to previous rooms, which can be a little bit annoying when previous rooms had something drop that you couldn't pick up, or had a key door that had something behind it that you wanted. Also, there is, the main weapons in this, the main damage things in this game is red, which I think is just damage. Yellow, which often means acid, which means that it, like, leaves an acid puddle. And blue, which is frost, which, slows you down if you get hit by it. And you can get weapons that do those things, too. Or power-ups that make your gun or your chicken's gun do those things. Yeah, the wizard one there is the potions one. Now, the potions are random, as is often the case in this game. I think you might be able to tell what they do by their color, but honestly, because most of them weren't super useful, I didn't really mess around with them that much. One of them is you heal one, but there are also ones that, like, make you faster or do more damage for one room, or what was the freaking one? Damage all the enemies once in the room. So, yeah, they're all kinds of weird stuff. One of them is random goods, which means you get, like, some items, like keys and eggs or something. So, yeah, that's the kind of stuff you get. Presumably there are more interesting weapon and chicken upgrades, but you probably have to make actual progress in the game to get most of those, and I only made it to the final boss like once or twice. And haven't beaten him yet, so yeah. The lore that you get by talking to people is actually a little bit interesting, about, like, how the chickens they're invading, why are they invading? There's some infighting among the chickens, the alien chickens.
Pecking order.
Yeah, but yeah, you got that's more or less what I got, I think. Can you guys have any questions or think of anything I haven't covered?
I can.
What?
Like, good to see that the developers are big fans of Nuclear Throne.
I'm not familiar with that, so I would have completely missed that.
I played quite a bit of it, and yeah, this is looking very nuclear throny.
Okay, well, I don't have that point of reference, so I will take your word for it.
Indeed. So, anyway, a few things before we wrap up here, because it's an early access game. So, first of all, pricing. The
Okay,
current
yeah,
price.
I'm looking at it, and yeah, I kind of see the similarities. I think this one, the stated goal of it is to make things a little bit quicker, I think, than some other
Yeah,
games in this format.
possibly. I'm just, I'm just seeing this. I'm like, yeah,
No,
this
I
is,
see what you mean.
yeah. Anyway,
Also, the chicken that follows you around is super important, and you almost always have one. So,
right. I'm not saying it's 1-to-1. It's just, I can see the inspiration pretty clearly.
Fair enough.
And instantly. Anyway, so the current price is $5.99, $6. Though it is going through a promotion right now, where it's $4.49, so it's pretty cheap. So
That's probably a reasonable price. This is it seems like a simple enough game to pick up and just mess around with occasionally.
right, but before we get to those, we have to answer the early access questions, i.e., where is it in early access? Let's see, because they've built a solid system, combat mechanics. Really, it looks like it's more about polish.
There are some polish issues. Like I said, I don't know if there are plans to increase enemy diversity or
Yeah.
any of that stuff,
okay.
but
All right, but here's the current state. It's got 2 biomes of randomly generated rooms and an item reward pool, 1 big boss encounter, 4 different weapons, meta unlocks for your characters, and 3 different chicken companions. Each one of them with a unique ability. So
does it say how many weapons there are? Is it just the 4?
4, just the 4.
Okay,
So,
yeah, that's pretty small.
yeah, what I'm getting at here is this is a pretty small chunk of content, and I think the price is reflecting that.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping or assuming there would be more than that as it went on.
Yeah, well, that is why we call this impressions, because of early access. Because, yeah, there's not much here currently, and the early access period is being projected to be between 6 months and a year, which is a fairly wide berth of time for these things. And it just came out last month in early access. Time of recording, March of 2026. So it's got a long way there. And finally, the price. Yes, it will increase in price. They do not have a price in mind. It's just they don't seem to be indicating that they are going to be doing content update price jumps. But it is going to be more money when it reaches 1.0. All right. So
That's fair.
those are the So those are the relevant early access facts. Anything
So
you
yeah,
wish to
take that as warnings. It still seems fairly harmless, but that is fairly shallow amount of content for one of this type of game.
And I guess typical prerequisites going wrong with this, we have no guarantee this will actually make it to final release.
Of course, that too.
Once again, that's why we call this impressions.
Yep. Just always good to make note of it than not, and something happened,
Yeah. All right. So that'll about do it for Chickenauts here. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Highlights.